Welcome to the First Choice.
Hello, you beautiful bastards, and I do apologise. That was I was hoping to have stopped that intro right after the first choice bit, but no, I was for some reason you just kept turning it off. I don't know why when it's selected as the intro, so I do apologise there. And for some reason the outro popped up as well. I was clicking on trying to see what I could do, but next time I'll just edit a little quick one for my first impressions. So yeah, that was not meant to be the intro, but I do apologize. But thank you for joining me on my so-called show. And today on First Impressions, since I won't have time to actually edit a fucking video because there's so much shit going on and there's others I need to get done, I will be doing a quick. I am doing a quick live stream of The Smashing Machine. It's a nice little solo thing for now, just to sort of get my point of view across, because honestly, with all the other stuff that's taking up my life, including the other streams I'm popping on and the other streams I need to organize, yeah, I want to get this out as quickly as I can. So, so much like my sex life, I just want to get in there and get out as quickly as I can, premature ejaculation, all the works. So, yeah, The Smashing Machine. So, in case anyone who hasn't heard of it, and I'll be really surprised why, it's about a UFC fighter called Matt Kerr during the early days of UFC, back when it was still this kind of experimental thing where I think they were still trying to decide the legitimacy of it, like some people trying to ban it. And it's also when the rules started to first come about, it's... I mean, it was pretty loose back in the day. So, and this is about an athlete called Matt Kerr, who was known as the Smashing Machine. He was pretty much undefeatable, and then he kind of had, he had his demons as well. And this is really about him sort of trying to overcome his demons and get his life back on track. But hello, Nick. How you doing? Premature impressions. So childish. Okay, you ugly bastard. No, I'm joking. Good to have you on, Nix. And I think those piercing red eyes, I just can't resist. So, yeah, this movie is actually pretty fucking good. It's not perfect. I think it is really well done. It's really well acted, and I'm really surprised it's done by one Safdie brother instead of his twin. Unless I'm getting mixed up with another director that has a very similar name. He is one of the directors who did Hard Good Time and Uncut Gems. So he's very good at directing these movies that don't always have the most likable protagonists, the most likable characters, but you are still compelled by them. Oh, sorry, my key is playing up a little bit. I think it disconnected. Give me a second. Okay. Let me get back on. Oh, I do apologise there. But the performances are really fucking strong on this, though. The performances make this worth watching. And this isn't your typical guy falls from grace and then becomes this big success. No, he pretty much does get better, but there is still he still has his troubles. And to be honest, I think this is more about a guy sort of learning to deal with his troubles. He's got this big ego as well. You know, he's like he's known as the Smashing Machine. He's never lost a fight, but then he loses and he doesn't know how to deal with it. You know, it kind of defeats him as well, and he's already got this bad. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty good. Yeah, people. I don't know. I think it's because it's such a restrained performance. I mean, because he comes across as a guy who's angry, but at the same time he's trying to be kind about, you know, the things that angers him. You know, he doesn't want to, like, he's trying to be confrontational, but he doesn't want it to spiral out into a big fight. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, because he's got this very, very troubled wife. You know, she's kind of wild. She's kind of a wild card, and well, she's not his wife, she's his girlfriend. And her name is Dawn. She's played by Emily Blunt, who is fantastic in this fucking role, by the way. I mean, you kind of want to fucking slap her a lot of the times when you see her, but at the same time, she plays her in a way that is so realistic and honest. And we've all seen these kind of, we've met these kind of women before where you do kind of think, why the fuck are you both together? It's like you have moments where they are really great together, but at the same time, you kind of want them to split up for the sake of both their sanities. But at the same time, they can't seem to leave each other. But then the guy's making a shitload of money and he's an athlete, so there is probably a reason why she still sticks with him despite his troubles. But yeah, let's get the Smashing Machine up. Internet Movie Database, where are you? Pain in the ass, gigabyte, guzzling bastard. So yeah, Smashing Machine. And yeah, The Rock is actually really fucking good in this. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's probably one of his more humble performances as well, and it's one of his rawest. And not only that, is also supported by Mark Coleman, played by Ryan Bader here. And the thing is, I don't even think he's an actual actor, but he sells it though. He sells it as his fucking friend. Let's have a look. He's an actor known for the Smashing Machine. UFC on Fox, Countdown to UFC. So basically, he's mostly just done a lot of like UFC stuff, and that's about it. But I really do like him. He's got a lot of charm, and he kind of is a good sort of contrast to Mark Kerr, who's kind of got this very sort of destructive personal life, you know, and he's and Matt Coleman kind of takes his place as well in the fights, and he ends up pretty much making a little bit of a comeback himself. You know, he's another athlete that hasn't done it in a while, but and I think he had a bit of a reputation after a loss, and it caused him to not do it anymore. But now he's come back and he's becoming a success. While Matt Carey is basically trying to overcome his personal demons, his drinking, his addiction, and yeah, call me dumbass. I don't know if he was taking like some kind of like pain medicine, something like that, steroids. It's obviously on steroids because most of these athletes did do steroids. It's not completely unknown of. But yeah, it does eventually get worse after he loses. He can't handle it because he's lost so many times. He's won so many times, sorry, and it really does hit home for him that he needs to clean up, and he does. But he's still surrounded by his wife, who is taking like the odd pills, and she's drinking, and he kind of takes it like, you know, why are you surrounding yourself with the very thing that almost fucking destroyed me? And she's kind of like, don't you tell me what to do. At least I can handle it. But then you learn a little bit more like she's just as troubled as him. But like I said, Emily Blunt's Dawn Staples did kind of enrage me a couple of times. There's a few times where she brings her fucking drama right at the moment when he's supposed to be staying focused for a fight. She does it twice. so she seems like one of these women that loves to cause a bit of fucking drama. So, but she's good in this role. She fucking sells it. I mean, even though you kind of want to punch both of them for, they do sell the relationship. They sell the chaotic relationship. And going back to Dwayne Johnson, yeah, he does sell the showmanship of this guy as well. He's got the likability, but he sells the vulnerability. I mean, right in the scene where it's right after he overdoses, minor spoilers. Mark Coleman goes to see him as a friend as well, and you can sort of see Matt Coleman is a lot better personally. He's got a good family life, everything. He's a really nice guy, but he's kind of the best friend you fucking want. He's always there for you, no matter what. I mean, he could have just said, listen, I need to spend time with my family, but no, when he hears that Matt Carey's overdosed, he goes straight down to try and help him. And I love Dwayne Johnson's performance in it as well, where he's kind of like, oh my God, I didn't know where I was. I felt like I was there, but I wasn't. And he's real calm and very tranquil. But then on the 10 of a dime, he just breaks down. And I just felt bad for him. And yeah, I know a lot of people have problems with The Rock at the moment, and I do as well, because he has really screwed the pooch publicly. He's this big multimillionaire, billionaire, and he's telling people to donate money to these fire victims. And you could have donated a shitload yourself. I mean, if you're a big fucking multimillionaire, don't go around telling people who don't have a pot to piss in to donate their money to other people. Just let people decide for themselves. I mean, I don't have a pot to piss in. I will occasionally give money to, if I see a homeless person and I've got £1 to spare, I will give him £1. To at least, put it towards some, something to eat for later. But, and yeah, he's really kind of screwed the pooch as well with DC. Like, he refused to go in Shazam as Black Adam because, he didn't want to share his fucking big screen time with someone else. That was really shitty as well. And I think he had a hand in betraying Henry Cavill as well. I don't know. I might need to be corrected on that. So, and then he was backtracking on the whole Joe Rogan thing when Joe Rogan was sort of saying again, just to point something out. And it was like, I want to be on Joe Rogan. Oh my God, he said the N-word, even though it was used in the kind of context to explain a social point. I don't want to be associated with race, Fuck off. But what does he do? He backtracks and goes on Joe Rogan anyway. And Joe Rogan could have just said fuck off. He should have just told him to fuck off, because not only that, he's voting for fucking Kamala Harris, who pretty much enslaved a lot of black convicts and pretty much allowed innocent black convicts to go to the fucking gas chamber or chair, something like that. But yeah, he's pretty much he's really screwed himself over. And the fact that 20 years, despite a few decent movies and pretty much breathing new life into the Fast and Furious franchise, he hasn't really had much of a legacy. But here, it didn't feel like I was watching The Rock in the performance. I really did feel like I was watching an actual character really going through all this trouble. And the fights are really good as well. The fights are really fucking brutal and visceral, and they don't look choreographed in a Hollywood sort of way. It's Duke of many things. How you doing, man? Okay, so I'm switching back and forth on tabs. So if I don't respond to you straight away, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I will get to it. And if there's any multi-billionaires who's watching this and has no trouble losing a couple of million quid for a super chat, you're more than welcome. But, oh, fat chance, man. If the drinker can get 2 million fucking subs and still not have a multi-billionaire give him a £1 million of super chats, then yeah, I've got no chance. WWE is a performance art. Acting is part of the course. I know, I kind of, yeah, they are kind of acting in a way, but you know, but it's weird though, because soon as you, because it's very rare I see a wrestler that's a really, really fucking good actor, and The Rock kind of is the best out of them all in a way. I mean, yeah, John Cena was, he had some good comic timing, but once again, he kind of screws the pooch as well. I know acting in wrestling always seems a little bit more hammy, you know, but it's meant to be. It's wrestling. I don't mind the hammy acting in wrestling. Like, yeah. But I do admire the work they do as well, and the fact that you know there's it sort of highlights as well just how these athletes need to sort of go on these pain pills as well, you know, or they suffer heart problems from all the steroids they used to do in the day. It's I really love that stuff as well. It shows just how brutal the fucking sports industry can be, especially when you pretty much have to really fucking overwork out to the point where where it could take its toll on your body. Yeah, given DJ was producer and cameoed in the biopic of Page, it's not surprising he's involved in the movie in this pick. Which one? Let's have a look. DJ. There is a lot of non-actors in this film as well. I think that even the guy who's doing the who was working at the fairground. I mean, that was just a guy Safdie had met at some gambling place. I think Emily Blunt is like the only actual full-on trained actor in there. I mean, Ryan Bader, he was Darth Vader, and I think he was in Rogue Elements. I think Rogue One, sorry, not Rogue Elements, Rogue One. So yeah, woman causing drama, unheard of. DJ should take the lead in the biopic for the Jim Bexley speed. Yeah. Oh yeah, we need to see a Jim Bexley speed. Speed. You know, and have it end on Lister meeting him, and he's like wondering who the fuck is this clown. Now, poor millionaires, the cat afford a buck or two. Yeah, the cat afford to lose $1 million just in case they end up skint after blowing the rest of the millions. Yeah, they don't care about context. It's about the word, the message itself, how to underline and propagate it. One might call it propaganda. Yes, thankfully, I don't see it in this. I actually do see a very good, honest portrayal of the sports industry, and you know everything about UFC in the early days as well, and how it can take its toll on you. But there is a kind of a grim reality, but there's kind of a hopeful message as well. You know, like even when he does start to get his life back together and he starts to achieve a little bit again with the sports, it doesn't end there. His troubles are still there and I really like that because, yeah, you know what, you're always going to suffer through troubles and some turmoil no matter how better your life comes, because that's life. Life is shit. Even when life becomes good, it's still kind of shit, but sometimes that's okay. And I think that's what I got from this movie. It's not just him trying to make a comeback. It's mostly about him sort of trying to learn how to live with, you know, losing. Because the real battle is his personal life. And he has this little laugh at the end, and you can interpret that as in many different ways. And to me, it was him sort of like saying, you know what, I lost, but I'm okay with that. My life's shit, but I'm okay with that. I can still make it through. I made it through the worst. I overdosed. I died, and I nearly died. Sorry, and I've nearly lost my girlfriend, but somehow I know I'm going to be okay either way. Causes less injuries than dancing. Oh, that's a good little thing. I don't know. QI, the spot that's causes less injuries than dancing. Oh, I don't know about that. I thought it would as well. I thought it would though, because you're pretty much getting the living shit beat out of you. I mean, you're getting kicked in the head, kneed in the head, punched in the head. I mean, you always get these boxers who sort of have bad brain damage, and they can't always make out what it's kind of like Family Guy where they have the boxer on and he's talking very inconsistently. You know, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have to look that up myself. Just got back from a night shift. I'm a bug out and go. Be flat. Smoke me kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to be doing Red Dwarf again in November. I'm hoping to get a bigger panel on as well. So yeah. You take care, man. You take care, and do remember to share this channel and you know, hopefully try and get more subs because I think by next year I'm going to try and get another 1,000 subs. It's a long shot since it took me a good few years to get me the 1K subs and a few appearances on open bar to actually sort of speed that process up. But who knows? Because I'm getting more subs every few days, which is pretty good, which is a lot more than I was getting the last few months before I got the 1K. So, but I do recommend the Smashing Machine. It's not the typical comeback true story, but it is one that works very well. It is one that feels very real and honest. And I don't know whether The Rock deserves to win an Oscar for it, but maybe a nomination. Yeah, I've got my problems with him, but when someone does something very well, I do have to give them credit for it. And we're almost coming up to 21. There's probably a lot more missing out that I had written down, but I do like Baron Safdie's direction. I love the documentary style, way of shooting. You know, it kind of makes you feel like he kind of shoots it like he's sat in a room, sort of observing people. You know, he's got there is this very voyeuristic angle to the camera. And $2. Cheers, man. Hey, how you doing, RTNZ? I don't know if you've watched the Smashing Machine yet. It's I would recommend it. I was just talking about the cinematography as well. It's kind of got that Safdie sort of raw style, guerrilla style shooting where it looks like a documentary, and every angle kind of looks like, you know, someone is filming someone in secret from a distance. There's this very voyeuristic look to it, which I kind of like as well. Since this is basically about a real guy's life, and and it does add a bit more of a gritty realism to it, though. And I do like the Safdie brothers as well, even though even though I'm a little bit mixed on the documentary style shooting, where everything seems to be in like these extreme close-ups, and the music always seems a bit obnoxious at times. But I do still love Uncut Gems. I still like Good Time. Was it Good Times? I forgot now. Yeah, UFC is better enjoyed in the actual arena by being there, and secondary maybe at home on TV with friends. So what makes this worth money in theatre and cinemas? Well, it's mostly about a guy who's, trying to overcome his demons. It's sort of like, and I always like that. I always like a person that hits rock bottom. See what I did there? Rock bottom, but then makes it out alive. It kind of gives you that hope, like no matter how bad things get, you will still be okay. You will never fully be rid of your troubles, but you may learn to overcome them. You may learn to, no, actually, I'll take that back. It goes back to Doctor Strange. We can never conquer our demons. We can only learn to live above them. And I think that's what this film does very well. And it does kind of remind me of The Wrestler a little bit as well. Like it's not a fully glamorized return to glory after hitting rock bottom, but it's got this little hint of hope, this little it's kind of like at the end where Mickey Rourke sort of like sort of smiles and cries and then leaps off, and then it cuts to black. There's still that hope that he could still be okay despite being his troubles. I was a fan of early UFC, but not really Matt Care. A lot of steroids all around backline, except for Royce Gracie. Well, yeah, I mean, steroids are pretty prevalent in these fucking sports, though. It's not different. I mean, even fucking Lance Armstrong did steroids as well when he won his fucking championship. And I don't really fault him for it. Most of these athletes do. It's just the fact that he kept it secret, then did that fucking speech in dodgeball, which seemed very disingenuous. But thanks for the $2, man. New Zealand dollars. Rock bottom could mean something entirely else. Yeah. I don't want to go. But it is well acted. It's well directed. No, there's mad chemistry between Ryan Bader and Dwayne Johnson. I feel the friendship. Ryan Bader is so fucking good in this. He really is. And he's not even an actor. But there is something very genuine and honest about this as well. And it doesn't feel like The Rock is trying to appeal to his own ego this time. I mean, even though this has not smashed the box office as well as he had hoped, he did bring out a little what do I fucking call it? He did make a little announcement about it, and he seemed very more humble about it. He just seemed glad to have got it made. Which, okay, that's kind of good. I mean, he's probably trying to calm down the political virtue signaling and the ego a little bit to get his public image back. But okay, I mean, I'd rather have him be humble than being, you didn't like this film because you're a racist. You're racists. Fuck you all. Yeah, steroids were open secret in this sport. That's why it became performance art after all to many safety guards, like you can see. Yeah, honestly, I would not be fucking surprised about that. If you see all these guys that are like really, really super jacked and veiny and really sort of like incredibly chiseled, then it's obvious they're on steroids and they've dehydrated for a long time, which is not fucking good. I mean, yeah, so if you want to look at the guys who were like muscular but look realistically muscular, he was probably like Sean Connery back when he was James Bond or Bruce Willis in Die Hard. I mean, they look like guys that actually have been into the gym, but they don't look incredibly exaggerated. So yeah, Lance Armstrong may have used PEDs, but he did have to come back from cancer. Dodgeball is one of the best films of all time. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for them. I love that film, Dodgeball. Yeah, it's so fucking cliched and typical, but it is funny. It is funny. I don't care if the cartoons are two-dimensional cliches we've seen 1,000 times. They still work. Yeah, it's just that little speech as well. I mean, it's the fact that he wasn't. If he was really open about it, saying, "Oh yeah, I used," afterwards when it's like, "Yeah, I had to use steroids for it because blah blah blah." But so yeah, the Smashing Machine. It's not the. I don't think it's one of the greatest tour de force movies ever. I don't know if I don't think The Rock is giving like the best performance ever. But it is one of his best performances, and it is a good, honest performance, and he does do a very fucking good job of it, making you sort of like kind of want to punch this guy, but at the same time feel sorry for it. And that's kind of good as well. There is that honesty to it as well. It doesn't seem to hold back in displaying the flaws of Mark Kerr. So, and that's about it. It's very emotional. It's brutal. It's infuriating at times, but it's meant to be. It's honest. It's raw, and yeah, I would still check it out. I mean, and that's really about it. I don't think there's any more I can add to it. So I will leave you on that. So thanks for joining me, Artie. Thanks for joining me, Nix. Who else had Duke of many things? You get yourself some sleep, mate, because I've done night shifts. Fucking they can play havoc on your mentality a little bit as well. So yeah, get plenty of sleep. And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching, and do remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and to ring that bell in order to be notified. And if you wish to further support this channel, links will be in the description below. But right now, that's me done, and I'm off to the pub. Yeah, I know it's 10:30, but still, it's 11:30 somewhere.